Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. Today is the 17th of June 2024. Now, unfortunately, guys, the prices of Bitcoin on the global cryptocurrency market has definitely fallen down. And what I'm really not liking, guys, is the volume of stable coins is not that great either. So, in today's episode, we'll definitely take a deep dive into the global crypto snapshot. Now, look, guys, I was really expecting that the prices of Bitcoin on the global cryptocurrency market will be actually pumping up because the CPI numbers wasn't that bad. More importantly, guys, Federal Chair Jerome Powell did actually state that he does not want to go ahead and increase the interest rate hike, but unfortunately that thing did not happen, isn't it? So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that news. Now, one of the events that I'd like to talk about today, guys, that has to do with SEC versus Ripple. Now, roughly around 3 months ago, guys, I did talk about SEC demanding $4 billion as settlement for the case between SEC and Ripple, but looks like that amount has been gone down to $102.6 million. Now look, guys, there are two ways of looking at this. If Ripple does go ahead and accept this offer, it would mean that Ripple is a security. But let's say if they do not accept the offer, it would mean that they might end up paying $4 billion. So Ripple is in a tricky position, isn't it? And what is even crazy, guys, is if they do go ahead and accept this offer, it would mean that Ripple is a security, and that would have severe consequences for other cryptocurrency projects as well, isn't it? So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this. Now, in the world of Bitcoin mining, guys, there is some drama going on between Riot Platforms and Bitfarms, and looks like Riot Platform is kind of acquiring Bitfarm, and Bitfarm is definitely not happy about it. So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this news. Now, look, guys, in the world of Bitcoin, we know the whole nature between supply and demand, isn't it? Now, according to me, guys, a lot of billionaires, trillion-dollar companies, and early adopters are the ones who are benefited by Bitcoin, isn't it? And one of the news I'm going to be talking about is to do with a multi-billion-dollar company that is MicroStrategy, and looks like they're going ahead and acquiring more Bitcoin. So we'll definitely go ahead and talk about this. Now, finally, guys, towards the end of the episode, we're going to be talking about some news regarding Darknet, and looks like the owners of Darknet, that is Empire Market, they have been charged by the Department of Justice. So I'll definitely go ahead and give out more information regarding this news. Now look, guys, so far as Darknet is concerned, this news definitely involves cryptocurrency as well, because according to the Department of Justice, guys, looks like they definitely use cryptocurrency for illegal activities. So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this news. So quite a lot of cover, guys, in today's episode, and like we do in every Crypto and Coffee a Day podcast, I'm going to be discussing two news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. Now both the news, guys, have to do with events that I'm conducting at Blockchain DXB. Now, the first event, guys, takes place on the 25th of July, and it revolves around central bank digital currency. So the session essentially is called as Central Bank Digital Currency, the Basics, Threats to Freedom, and its role in the metaverse. So in today's episode, guys, I'll go ahead and explain what is it that you can expect at this session. Now, look, guys, if you're someone who wants to go ahead and sponsor this session, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now, look, guys, whether we like CBDCs or not, they're definitely going to gain a lot of momentum. So what I tend to do is every month, I go ahead and have these sessions where I give out more information regarding CBDCs. Now you should know, guys, at this point of time, that there are three different types of CBDCs. You have retail CBDC, your wholesale CBDC, and finally you have multi-CBDC. And since the last 4 weeks, guys, I'm seeing quite a lot of news surrounding CBDCs, and there is a massive news about the Central Bank of UAE as well. So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on all those news on the event that I'm conducting on the 25th of July. Now, the second news also has to do with an event that I'm conducting, guys, but this event takes place on the 1st of August, and it revolves around Metaverse, and that event, guys, is called as Metaverse, the Hype, Reality, and New World Order. Now, unfortunately, guys, I hate saying this, but the hype regarding Metaverse has died down, isn't it? So in that session, guys, what I'm going to do is, I'll go ahead and firstly explore what Metaverse is, what is the reality, and what the hype around Metaverse is. Now look, guys, once again, if you want to go ahead and sponsor this session, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. So quite a lot of cover, guys, in today's episode. Let's kickstart with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the Blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast, and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red, and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well. And Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously. And they're focusing on 3 Ps. That is people, planet, and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, unfortunately, guys, the global cryptocurrency market is at $2.43 trillion. Now, I was under the anticipation, guys, because the CPI numbers are low and because Jerome Powell decided to keep the interest rate the same, I was honestly expecting the global cryptocurrency market to touch the $2.70 trillion mark. Unfortunately, guys, that thing did not happen, isn't it? Now, you also need to remember, guys, that I'm recording this podcast in the early hours of 17th, and it is still technically Sunday in most of the Western countries. Now, so far, the total cryptocurrency market volume is concerned, guys, it is only at $41.05 billion, and since the last 24 hours, it is down by 29.68%. Now, what I'm really not liking, guys, is the volume in DeFi. The volume in DeFi is well below the $4 billion mark. It is at $3.59 billion. Now, technically speaking, guys, when there is absolute chaos in the cryptocurrency world, that should be the time when the volume of DeFi should increase, isn't it? Because there is no centralization and all of the transactions should be working on peer-to-peer. And as we know, guys, peer-to-peer technology works on cryptography, hashing algorithm, and mathematics, isn't it? Unfortunately, guys, that thing is not how the world is working. And what is a bit scary, guys, regarding the DeFi volume is that despite the volume being low, it is accounting for a higher percentage of the total cryptocurrency market volume, which just means, guys, other metrics such as NFTs, DeFi, Metaverse, they are definitely not picking up volume, isn't it? Now, as of now, DeFi is accounting for 8.75% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume, and so far as the total value locked is concerned, it is at $101.07 billion. Now, Lido's dominance, guys, is at $34.31 billion. Now, looks like since the last 72 hours, Lido's dominance has marginally increased, isn't it? Now, so far as decentralized exchange dominance is concerned, last week, guys, it was around the 24 to 28% mark, isn't it? Today, guys, it is at 15.77%. So let's see, guys, if these numbers changes over the next coming days. Now, let me do one thing, guys. Let me quickly run through the volume of decentralized exchanges. And it's needless to say that the volumes are not that great. Uniswap is definitely leading the pack, and its volume is $1.17 billion. PancakeSwap, guys, is at number 2nd, and its volume is a little over $500 million mark at $515.54 million. Radium, guys, is at number 3rd, and its volume is $410.80 million. Aerodome, guys, is at number 4th, which I believe I'm seeing it for the 2nd or 3rd time in the history ever of Crypto and Coffee 88 podcast. Today, guys, it is at $239.03 million. And even at number 5th, guys, is Meteora, and it's exactly the same as Aerodrome. I might be reading out these numbers probably only for the 2nd or 3rd time in the history of Crypto and Coffee Day podcast. Now its volume is at number 5th, and it is at $180.46 million. Now let me do one thing, guys. Let me quickly run through the volume of stable coins, because this is the matrix that I discussed in my episode that I released on Thursday. Because on Thursday, guys, the volume of stable coins was high, which technically meant that over the next coming days, people will be removing the stable coins and then going ahead and buying a lot of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, isn't it? Now, the reason I said that, guys, is because the CPI numbers were not that bad, and even the decision by Jerome Powell to keep the interest rate the same, I thought would have ended to be positive for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But look, guys, all price predictions are 100% right 50% of the time, isn't it? These are some of the dangers of cryptocurrency, to be honest. Now, so far as the volume is concerned, guys, it is accounting for $36.98 billion. And what I'm really not liking, guys, is that despite the volume being low, it is accounting for a higher percentage at 90.09% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And out of the $36.98 billion, guys, Tether USDT is accounting for $31.37 billion, followed by FTUSD, and its volume is $2.53 billion, and Circle USDC, guys, this volume is $2.44 billion. Now let me quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now Bitcoin's market cap, guys, has gone down, and it is at $1.31 trillion. Now if you look at Ethereum's market cap, guys, since Thursday, it looks like it has pumped up, and today it is at $432 billion. And if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, guys, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is $12.71 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is $9.56 billion. Now look, guys, because Ethereum's market cap has increased, I'm pretty much sure it has positively impacted the dominance of Ethereum as well. Because on Thursday, guys, Ethereum's dominance was at 17.30%, isn't it? Today it has pumped up to 17.70%. Now so far as the dominance of Bitcoin is concerned, it has marginally gone down, but it is still looking good at 53.88%. Now this week, guys, what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be looking at the top 3 gainers and the top 3 losers since the last 24 hours. The mind you, guys, these numbers will drastically change every day, isn't it? Because usually what happens is a lot of NFTs and meme coins, these are the ones that pick up volume, and over the next coming days, they tend to gradually fall down. And it's no surprise, guys, that the number one since the last 24 hours is a token called as bread-based, whose ticker symbol is BRETT. I have no idea what that is, and it has gained the most since the last 24 hours at 13.39%. The second one, guys, is dogged with that, and it has definitely picked up pace since the last 24 hours, and it is up by 8.68%. Lido Dow, guys, is at number 3rd, and since the last 24 hours, it is up by 6.76%. So look, guys, since the last 24 hours, these coins are pumped up, and I wouldn't be surprised over the next coming days and weeks. They might be in the loser side since the last 24 hours, Now, since the last 24 hours, guys, the project or protocol that has hit the most is Injective, and its ticker symbol is INJ, and it is down by 3.23%. Now, look, guys, over the next coming days, I wouldn't be surprised if it does go in the top gainer. The second one is Chili's, and since the last 24 hours, it is down by 4.19%. The number third, guys, is Caspar, and since the last 24 hours, it is down by 3.42%. Now, look, guys, the cryptocurrency is absolutely wild and crazy, isn't it? Now, what I'm going to be doing this entire week, guys, I'm going to be focusing on the blockchain trilemma problem. So, look, guys, when you talk about blockchain trilemma problem, essentially there are 3 points when you're talking about the trilemma problem. The first one is decentralization, the second one is security, and the third one is scalability, isn't it? Now, look, guys, it is so critical that you truly understand what the blockchain trilemma problem is. So, let's go ahead and tackle the first one, guys, and that is to do with decentralization. Now, look, guys, decentralization or distributed refers to distributing the control, decision-making, and validation process across a network of nodes, isn't it? And this will actually ensure that no central entity has excessive power. Now, so far as distributed or decentralization is concerned, guys, there are 3 things I'd like to touch base on. The first one is trust and transparency. The second one is censorship resistant. And the third one is fault tolerance. Now, so far as trust and transparency is concerned, guys, a distributed or decentralized network relies on a consensus mechanism which ensures that all participants agree on the state of the ledger, thereby fostering trust without the need for intermediaries, isn't it? And so far as censorship resistant is concerned, a distributed or decentralized system is less prone to censorship and controlled by a single entity, thereby ensuring freedom and autonomy for users. Now, look, so far central bank digital currency is concerned, it is 100% centralized, isn't it? So these are things you need to look at when you talk about central bank digital currency. Now, so far as fault tolerance is concerned, guys, a distributed or decentralized network is more resilient to failures and attacks, as there is no central point of failure, isn't it? Now, look, guys, no one can go after Bitcoin because the entire network is distributed all around the world. But so far as Ethereum is concerned, technically, guys, you can go after the Ethereum Foundation, isn't it? Now, look, guys, decentralization or distributed might sound great, but there are a couple of challenges as well. So far as decentralization is concerned, guys, let me go ahead and touch base on 3 areas. The first one is consensus mechanism, the second one is network latency, and the third one is governance. So far as consensus mechanism is concerned, guys, achieving consensus in a distributed or decentralized network may be extremely slow and resource intensive. Mechanisms like proof of work require significant computational power, while proof of stake requires a sufficient number of validators with a stake in the system, isn't it? And then you also have something called as delegated proof of stake, which is utilized by EOS and other protocols. Now, so far as latency network is concerned, guys, we need to understand that as the number of nodes increases, the time required to propagate information across the network can actually lead to higher latency and slower transaction processing. Now, so far as governance is concerned, guys, decentralized or distributed network often face challenges in decision making and governance, as achieving this consensus among a large number of stakeholders can be an extremely complex task. Now, look, so far as Bitcoin is concerned, I remember in order for Bitcoin to change from ECDSA to Taproot and Snort signature, it took almost 18 months. So that is one of the drawbacks as well. And the other examples I could think of is, guys, I can think of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's proof of work mechanism ensures distributed or decentralization, and it does that by allowing any participants to join the network and validate transactions. Now, so far as Ethereum is concerned, guys, Ethereum also aimed to maintain decentralization while transitioning to proof of stake, and that involved a broad and diverse set of validators, isn't it? So these are some of the examples, guys, of decentralization. Now, the second one, guys, is security. Now, look, guys, security in a blockchain context refers to the network's ability to resist attack and unauthorized alterations, ensuring data integrity and immutability. Now, it's needless to say, guys, that security is extremely critical, isn't it? Because it ensures that once data is recorded on the blockchain, it absolutely cannot be tampered with or even altered, thereby providing a reliable and accurate ledger. And also, guys, a secure blockchain can withstand various forms of cyber attacks, including a 51% attack as well. That is where an entity gains control of majority of the network's hash power or stake, isn't it? Also, guys, high security levels instill confidence in users and investors, as the likelihood of fraud, hacks, or even data breaches is extremely minimized. Now, look, guys, so far security in blockchain is concerned, there are a couple of challenges as well, and ensuring security through mechanisms like proof of work do require significant computational power, leading to an extremely high energy consumption, isn't it? And also gas complexity. Implementing advanced cryptographic techniques and secure protocols can be extremely complex and resource intensive. What that would eventually mean, guys, is that so far as peer-to-peer transaction is concerned, it does eventually turn out to be extremely expensive, isn't it? Now, one of the trade-offs so far as security is concerned, guys, is to do with scalability, and ensuring security often involves trade-off with scalability, as most stringent security measures can actually slow down transaction processing. Now, let me go ahead and touch base on a few examples, guys, and I thought of why not give example in the world of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So far as Bitcoin is concerned, Bitcoin uses proof of work mechanism, isn't it, that makes it computationally infeasible for an attacker to alter the blockchain without controlling a majority of the network's computational power. And so far as Ethereum is concerned, Ethereum security to proof of stake, where validators with a significant stake in the network validate transactions, incentivizes honest behavior. Now let me go ahead and touch base on the third point, guys, that is scalability. Now so far scalability is concerned, guys, in the blockchain context, it refers to blockchain network's ability to handle an increased number of transactions and node efficiently. Now it's needless to say, guys, why scalability is important, because only a scalable blockchain can process a high volume of transactions per second, also called as TPS, which is extremely essential for mainstream adoption and usability, isn't it? And the often comparison that people tend to make is blockchain's TPS with that of MasterCard or Visa, isn't it? Now scalability, guys, supports the growth of the network by accommodating more users, applications, and services without degrading performance. Now improved scalability, guys, can also lead to lower transaction fees and faster transaction times, thereby enhancing user experience and economic efficiency. But look, guys, scalability in the blockchain context, keeping in blockchain trilemma problem, does actually have a couple of challenges, and I'd like to touch base on three core areas, guys. The first one is the block size and speed, the second one is layer 2 solutions, and finally the third one is interoperability. Now so far as block size and speed is concerned, guys, increasing block size or reducing block time can improve throughput, but may compromise decentralization and security by requiring more resources from nodes. Now so far as layer 2 solutions is concerned, guys, off-chain solutions like state channels and side chains can definitely enhance scalability, but what they tend to do is they tend to add complexity, and they can introduce further new security vulnerabilities, and we've seen so many hacks so far as bridging is concerned, isn't it? Now so far as interoperability is concerned, guys, ensuring that scalable solutions work seamlessly with existing systems and protocols can be extremely challenging, but interoperability is such an important feature in the blockchain world. Now let me give us some examples, guys, so far as Bitcoin and Ethereum is concerned, keeping in mind scalability. Now Ethereum, guys, plans to implement sharding. So essentially what they want to do is they want to divide the blockchain into smaller shards that can process transactions in parallel, increasing throughput, isn't it? Now so far as Bitcoin is concerned, we have Lightning Network, which is a layer 2 solution for Bitcoin that enables off-chain transactions settling on main chain, thus enhancing scalability without compromising on security or decentralization. So look, so far as the blockchain trilemma problem is concerned, we definitely have a long way to go, and the interplay between decentralization, security, and scalability often involves trade-offs. Now so far as decentralization versus scalability is concerned, guys, increasing the number of nodes, that is decentralization or distributed nature as we like to call it, can actually reduce transaction speed and throughput, that is scalability, but we are making a very bad trade-off, isn't it? Now so far security and scalability is concerned, guys, check this out. Enhancing security to complex consensus mechanism can actually slow down transaction processing, thereby reducing scalability, isn't it? And the last thing you would want, guys, is for your transaction to take hours to go through, isn't it? So security and scalability do have compromises. Now the next one, guys, is regarding decentralization versus security. Now look, guys, a highly decentralized or distributed network may face challenges in coordinating security measures effectively, and at this point of time, guys, I do feel that addressing the blockchain trilemma is extremely crucial. Now blockchain projects do employ various strategies to balance these aspects. Now Ethereum 2.0 is one of them, and by adopting proof of stake and sharding to enhance scalability while maintaining security and decentralization is definitely one of them. But look, guys, so far as the use case is concerned, it is still extremely less in comparison to, let's say, centralized world and even CBDCs for that matter, because CBDCs, guys, once they go mainstream, they can definitely go ahead and do more transaction, but they're heavily compromising on centralization, isn't it? Now so far as Bitcoin is concerned, guys, using the Lightning Network to improve transaction speed and reduce cost without altering the core protocol is one way of solving the blockchain trilemma problem. But look guys, implementing Lightning Network is an absolute nightmare. And there was this quote roughly around 6 years ago that did actually state that Lightning Network is lighting years away from mainstream adoption, and the fact is Lightning Network is still not mainstream yet. Now so far as Polkadot is concerned guys, they are employing a multi-chain framework where multiple blockchains, that is called as parachains, are connected to a central relay chain, thereby enhancing scalability and interoperability, while at the same time maintaining security and decentralization. So look guys, there are newer ways we still as an industry need to come up with so that we can efficiently and effectively solve the blockchain trilemma problem. Because the blockchain trilemma problem, guys, presents a fundamental challenge in blockchain design, highlighting the difficulties in achieving optimal decentralization, security, and scalability simultaneously. However, guys, ongoing research and innovative solutions continue to push the boundaries, striving to create more robust and efficient blockchain network that can actually support a wide range of applications and users. So look guys, I do feel probably in a decade's time or so, blockchain technology will go mainstream, but we need to go and solve the blockchain trilemma problem first. So let me know guys what are your thoughts regarding the blockchain trilemma problem. Now guys, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin, and the price of Bitcoin is $66,547. Now since the last 24 hours though, it is marginally up by 0.54%, but since the last 7 days, it is down by 4.40%. Now look guys, truth be told, I was definitely expecting the price of Bitcoin to cross the $70,000 mark, but let's see guys how this week turns out to be. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, on Tuesdays, Glassnode's they tend to provide a weekly insight. I would definitely recommend you to go ahead and check it out, because that will give you detailed information on what did actually take place last week, and that will give you some indication and idea on which way the price would potentially move. Now so far as Ethereum is concerned guys, it is well below the $3,600 mark. Today it is at $3,592. Now since the last 24 hours it is up by 1.02%, but since the last 7 days it is down by 2.85%. Binance BNB Coin guys is at $609. Since the last 24 hours it is up by 0.51%, but since the last 7 days guys, it is down by 9.94%. Now look guys, so far as Ethereum is concerned, we are waiting for the S1 form to kick in, isn't it? Now there is news circulating guys that the S1 form will be submitted by the end of summer, so we don't have the exact date when the spot Ethereum trading will be kicked off. Now once that thing happens guys, I'm pretty much sure the price of Ethereum will temporarily bump up to the moon, isn't it? So keep an eye on the date when the S1 form, so far as Ethereum spot trading approval kicks in, that will definitely be positive for Ethereum, and that should definitely pump up the price of Bitcoin as well. Now guys, let's discuss some news between SEC and Ripple. Now roughly around 3 months ago guys, I did talk about Ripple, where they were requested to pay a hefty fee of $2 billion in order to pay the penalty and go ahead and settle the case. But we do have an update, because right now guys, the US Security and Exchange Commission, they have a settlement offer of $102.6 million. Now legal document guys regarding this was actually shared by the defense lawyer of Ripple, that is James Fallon. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, in the show notes below, there is a link to his Twitter ID, so please feel free to go ahead and check it out. Now what happened guys is that the US Security and Exchange Commission did initially seek a hefty $2 billion penalty from Ripple. However, this has been lowered to $102.6 million. This happened just a few days ago after Ripple filed a legal brief arguing that the original $2 billion penalty was unreasonable. Now look guys, Ripple did actually argue that the US Security and Exchange Commission, typically what they tend to do is they seek penalties between 0.6% and 1.8% of the defendant's revenue in such cases, and they propose a settlement amount of only $10 million. But the SEC is aggressive, isn't it? They went ahead and rejected Ripple's comparison claim, and they said that it was irrelevant to the case. They have offered an amount of $102.6 million. But here's the craziest thing guys, once Ripple goes ahead and accepts the $102.6 million, it would actually mean that Ripple is a security, isn't it? And accepting the $100.26 million settlement wouldn't clarify XRP's legal status, leaving ambiguity for Ripple, and that would definitely impact the price of XRP in my opinion. But here's the crazy thing guys, rejecting this settlement could actually lead to a lengthy court battle with an uncertain outcome and a potential harshy penalty. So look guys, so far as Ripple is concerned, they have to go ahead and make a quick decision. Now, if I'm not mistaken, guys, when the SEC offers an ultimatum, there is often a deadline associated with it as well, isn't it? So look, guys, we'll find out if Ripple does go ahead and accept the settlement. Now, what is a bit crazy, guys, is if they do go ahead and accept the settlement, it would mean that the SEC is right, and they would follow a similar pursuit towards other crypto assets as well, isn't it? So this would significantly impact the regulatory landscape for cryptocurrency as a whole. So it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, what the outcome by Ripple is. Now look, guys, so far as Ripple is concerned, they also want to go ahead and launch a stable coin, and you need to go ahead and question, guys, why is it that they want to go ahead and launch a stable coin when they already have an XRP, isn't it? So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding this. Now, guys, let's discuss some drama between two giant companies in the world of Bitcoin mining, and that is to do with Riot Platform and Bitfarm. Now, the corporate battle, guys, between crypto miners, Riot Platform and Bitfarm did actually escalate aggressively, and what happened on the 11th of June, Riot Platform increased its stake in Bitfarms to 13.1% by acquiring 6 million shares worth over $111 million. Now, this move, guys, followed Bitfarm's suggestion of a poison pill defense to prevent Riot from reaching 15% stake. Now, Riot Platform's early acquisition proposal, guys, was actually rejected by Bitfarm, and there were internal issues at Bitfarm, including the firing and subsequent lawsuit from former CEO, that is Geoffrey Morphy. Now, this drama is definitely intriguing and escalating, isn't it? So let me do one thing, guys. Let me give you a detailed breakdown. So what happened on the 11th of June? Riot Platform increased its stake in Bitfarms to 13.1%, and they did that by acquiring 6 million shares worth over $111 million. Now, there is a poison pill defense, guys. Now, this acquisition came after Bitfarm suggested a poison pill strategy to prevent Riot from increasing its stake to 15% or more. But in April, Riot rejected this proposal, and Riot Platform proposed acquiring Bitfarms at a premium, which Bitfarms board eventually rejected. Now look, guys, this dispute is intensified by Bitfarms because of internal issues, and as I mentioned earlier, guys, the CEO Geoffrey Morphy was asked to resign, and there is a lawsuit by him for $27 million as well. So a lot of drama going on, isn't it? Now, guys, let's discuss some news so far as Bitcoin accumulation is concerned. Now look, guys, I hate saying this. When you talk about Bitcoin, a lot of the multi-billionaires, trillion-dollar companies, early adopters are the ones who are benefited by it, isn't it? Now, at the outset, guys, it does look like a scam, but a lot of early adopters, millionaires and multi-billionaires are the only ones who are benefited with so-called peer-to-peer electronic cash system. But that's not to say, guys, that companies like MicroStrategy and BlackRock, they should not be allowed to buy more Bitcoin. They definitely have full right to do whatever they want. Now, the next news, guys, is regarding MicroStrategy, which was co-founded by Michael Saylor. Now, they want to go ahead and acquire more Bitcoin, and they want to raise up to $786 million, and they want to do that through the issuance of unsecured senior convertible notes, and the funds, guys, will be used to buy more Bitcoin, and for general corporate purposes. The MicroStrategy, guys, at this point of time, currently holds 214,400 Bitcoin, making it the largest institutional holder of cryptocurrency. And that's not it, guys. They plan to issue $500 million worth of unsecured senior convertible notes, and they want to buy up more Bitcoin and further increase its record holding. Now, the firm, guys, has upsized its offering to $700 million. Now, the information, guys, regarding this is via Decrypt. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding this. Now, guys, let me go ahead and touch base on some drama, and that is to do with dark market. And two men, guys, that is Thomas Spavey and Raymond Hamilton, they have been charged in Chicago for operating Empire Market, which was a dark web marketplace, guys, and they facilitated over $430 million in illegal transactions between 2018 and 20. Now, what is a bit crazy, guys, is they are accused of drug trafficking, computer fraud, access device fraud, counterfeiting and money laundering, and they are potentially facing lifetime sentences. Now, so far as this news is concerned, guys, looks like there was a lot of cryptocurrency involved as well, and the cryptocurrencies were actually used for buyers to buy their rate purchases as well. Now, this official news, guys, is actually published by the Department of Justice, and it is in the show notes below. And based on the report, guys, looks like the Department of Justice, they have seized $75 million in cryptocurrency, cash and precious metals as well. Now, both the defendants, guys, are in US law enforcement custody, and the charges include conspiracy to drug trafficking, fraud, counterfeiting, and money laundering. Now, the indictment follows the previous involvement with Alphabet, which is another dark web marketplace. Now, the public, guys, is reminded that the defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty, isn't it? So let's see, guys, what the outcome to this is. So these were some macro level news, guys, on the cryptocurrency and blockchain world. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. Now both the news, guys, are to do with an event that I'm conducting. One event is on the 25th of July, and the second one is on the 1st of August. So let me go ahead and share more information regarding this news, guys. Now listen, guys, if you do want to go ahead and sponsor this session, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now the first session, guys, is on the 25th of July, and it is called a Central Bank Digital Currency, and this takes place at 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Gulf Standard Time. So let me do one thing, guys. Let me go ahead and explain what is it that you can expect at this session, because this session, guys, essentially is broken into three parts. In part A, guys, I go ahead and share what is central bank digital currency. We go ahead and look at the history of central bank digital currency. How will central bank digital currency actually work? And I'll go ahead and share the current state of CBDCs. Now look, guys, right now there are different countries currently studying, working on CBDCs, isn't it? So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and share the list of countries that are currently working or just starting central bank digital currency. Now look, guys, ever since El Salvador made Bitcoin a legal tender, the World Economic Forum and the World Bank, they got completely triggered, isn't it? So what I'll do is in part A, I'll go ahead and discuss the impact of El Salvador adopting Bitcoin as a legal tender, and I'll go ahead and share the International Monetary Fund stance on CBDCs. And in part A, guys, we'll also go ahead and explore when will United Arab Emirates launch its CBDC, or have they already gone ahead and done that? Now, so far as part B is concerned, guys, this is my favorite part. I'll go ahead and discuss CBDCs versus Bitcoin. Now, look, guys, central bank digital currency are definitely digital currency, but they definitely do not follow the ethos of open blockchain. And something which I mentioned earlier, guys, that is the blockchain trilemma problem. Centralization definitely exists in CBDCs, so I'll go ahead and explore CBDCs versus Bitcoin, and I'll go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on why central bank digital currency is a threat to freedom. We'll also go ahead and talk about the political implications of CBDCs and what kind of politics and politicians do actually show support, and what kind of politics and politicians do actually show resistance to CBDCs. Now, at the outset, guys, you need to know that right-wing politicians and right-wing ideologies and Republicans so far as US is concerned, conservatives so far as UK is concerned, and the BJP party or NDA party so far as India is concerned, they definitely have very strong resistance to central bank digital currency. These same political ideologies, guys, are definitely in favor of Bitcoin, they're definitely in favor of open source, and they're definitely in favor of freedom of speech as well, isn't it? The left-leaning ideologies, guys, and the left-leaning politicians, so far as Democrats in US, the Labour Party in UK, and the Congress Party in India is concerned, they're definitely in favor of CBDCs, and these parties are the ones who are definitely not in favor of Bitcoin, definitely not in favor of cryptocurrencies. They want a lot more control over our spendings, and that is one of the reasons why they're aggressively against cryptocurrencies. So I'll definitely go ahead and share more information regarding this, and I'll also go ahead and share, guys, China's role in central bank digital currency. Now look, guys, so far CBDC is concerned, China is taking leaps and bounds so far central bank digital currency is concerned, isn't it? They are well ahead in comparison to other countries, so I'll go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion over China's dominance in CBDC. Now look, guys, you need to understand that there are different types of CBDCs. So in part B, guys, I'll go ahead and explain what is retail CBDC, what is wholesale CBDC, and what is multi-CBDC. Now another controversial area, guys, I'll touch base in part B is central bank digital currency's role in the metaverse. Now look, guys, so far as metaverse is concerned, I hate saying this, cryptocurrencies and stable coins are definitely not an ideal fit yet. Maybe central bank digital currencies will be an ideal fit, so I'll go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on it. Now look, guys, in part C, I'll go ahead and discuss UAE central bank's role. And UAE, guys, lately have been very active so far CBDC is concerned, and they've recently introduced something called as the Fed program. So what I'll do, guys, in part C, I'll go ahead and touch base on the Fed program that touches base on 9 core areas. The first one is card domestic scheme, the second one is eKYC, the third one is CBDC itself, the fourth one is open finance, the fifth one is supervisory technology or SupTech, the sixth one is innovation hub, the seventh one is instant payment platform, the eighth one is financial cloud, and the ninth one is excellence and customer experience. So I'll very briefly touch base on these points. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding CBDCs. Now, if you do need any further consultation, guys, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now, look, guys, this session is completely free of cost, and it takes place on the 25th of July at 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Gulf Standard Time. And once again, guys, if you want to go ahead and sponsor this session, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now, guys, let me go ahead and talk about another session that I'm conducting, but this session takes place on the 1st of August, and this is to do with Metaverse, and the session essentially is called as Metaverse, the Hype Reality and New World Order. Now, look, guys, so far as Metaverse is concerned, since 2023 and 2024, I'm literally not seeing any news regarding this, but look, I definitely want to go ahead and educate the people on what Metaverse is. So I'll go ahead and discuss the hype surrounding Metaverse, the institution and companies joining on board, and we'll go ahead and discuss the expectation versus reality. I'll go ahead and touch base on the hardware versus software limitations. We'll also look at real life use cases so far as Metaverse is concerned. Now look, as Joe Biden did actually state that the new world order is coming, and which country will have a competitive edge in the Metaverse? Will it be the developing countries? Will it be the developed countries? Or does Metaverse give the opportunities for underdeveloping countries to take a step in the Metaverse? I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on these points. And similar to the event on central bank digital currency, guys, this session also takes place in 3 parts. In part A, guys, we'll go ahead and discuss the history of Metaverse. We'll go ahead and discuss what in the hell is Metaverse. I'll go ahead and delve into the hype surrounding Metaverse. Now look, guys, Facebook changed its name from Facebook to Meta, and that is because they believed in the power of Metaverse, isn't it? So I'll go ahead and discuss the hype regarding Metaverse, the hardware and software solutions in Metaverse. Now look, guys, it's really important to understand that so far as Metaverse is concerned, they need to be able to capture all the 5 senses in the Metaverse. If you don't do it, it is a complete recipe for disaster. So I'll go ahead and explain all those things in part A. Now so far as part B is concerned, guys, this might be a controversial topic if you're a massive advocate of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, because what I will do is I'll go ahead and share limited areas where Metaverse merges with blockchain technology. Now, I hate saying this, guys, keeping in mind the blockchain trilemma problem, blockchain technology is not an ideal fit for Metaverse. I'll go ahead and discuss how centralized entities can offer a much better experience in the Metaverse. Do we require blockchain in the Metaverse? We'll definitely delve into that, because look, guys, when we talk about Metaverse, it is all about the user experience, and the user experience in Metaverse has to be 10 times better than what we're currently experiencing, or else Metaverse will definitely not cut it. And that is precisely the reason why, guys, Metaverse protocols that are built, let's say, on Sandbox or Decentraland, which are kind of in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, they are pretty much dead right now, isn't it? So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this. I'll also go ahead and share what areas NFTs will work in the Metaverse and the role of AI-enabled NFTs in the Metaverse as well. All this, guys, will be in part B. Now, so far as part C is concerned, guys, I'll talk about Dubai Metaverse strategy. Now, look, guys, I do have a standalone episode entirely focusing on Dubai Metaverse strategy, so please feel free to go ahead and check it out. We'll go ahead and discuss, guys, the leading governing bodies in the Metaverse arena, and one of the visions of Sheikh Hamdan is for Dubai to be the top 10 city in the world so far as Metaverse is concerned. And Dubai also had the Dubai Metaverse Assembly, which was a one-off event at the iconic Museum of the Future. Now look, guys, I do have a standalone episode with the CEO and founder of Meta Decrypt, and she was the one who actually arranged the Dubai Metaverse Assembly event at the Museum of the Future. So please feel free to go ahead and check it out. And in the session, guys, on part C, I'll also go ahead and touch base on the networking event that is focused purely around Metaverse. Now look, guys, this event is completely free of cost, and it takes place on the 1st of August between 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. in the evening. And look, guys, if you do want to go ahead and sponsor this session, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. So these were the news, guys, on the cryptocurrency and blockchain world. Now, if you do have any feedback or suggestion, mention them in the comments below. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And guys, please feel free to go ahead and check out our website, that is www.blockchaindxb.com. It is packed with loads of information in the world of Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain, metaverse, and artificial intelligence. Now, for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So let's kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Tim who asks, do you think the price of Ethereum will pump up once the trading kicks in? Definitely yes, Tim. I definitely don't see a reason why as to why the price of Ethereum will not be pumping up. Will it reach a new all-time high? Most likely yes. But look, once the Ethereum spot trading ETF kicks in, I definitely do feel that temporarily we might see a drawback as well, because you need to understand the only reason why the Ethereum spot ETF has been approved is because the applicators, they will not be allowed to offer staking as a services in it. Now, if I'm an investor, why would I want to go out and buy a spot Ethereum ETF? In case of Bitcoin ETF, there is nothing called a staking, isn't it? So look, if I'm an investor, rather than buying an Ethereum spot ETF, I may as well buy the actual Ethereum, because then what I can do is I can take that Ethereum, I can become a validator, and then I can earn some additional Ethereum or Ether as a reward. So that'll be a double whammy, isn't it? But in case of Ethereum spot ETF, I'll just be focusing on the price fluctuation of Ethereum ETF, so it would not be making any sense. So what I do feel, Tim, is once the Ethereum spot trading kicks off, there will definitely be some price movement, and I wouldn't be surprised in honesty that if Ethereum crosses a new all-time high, then some of the whales, they will be manipulating the market. Some of the institutional traders, they will heavily be manipulating the market, and the price will dump down as well. Those are my honest thoughts, and this is one of the reasons why it is so critical that we truly understand what this Ethereum spot ETF is. Now, I've said this thing so many times in the past. If you're someone who's truly enthusiastic about cryptocurrency or the whole movement of decentralization, so far as ETF is concerned, you should definitely not be celebrating, because it does not make any difference to the underlying technology, isn't it? Now, so far as Bitcoin spot ETF is concerned, a lot of the Bitcoin OGs and maximalists, they definitely do not like that. Now look, with Bitcoin spot ETF, a lot of million-dollar companies have been benefited, and the same thing will happen for Ethereum as well. Now, I'm not saying that these million-dollar companies do not have any right. I'm talking about it in the context of why Bitcoin was created. Bitcoin is kind of like the people's money, isn't it? And so is Ethereum as well. But with BlackRock getting into the game, they are the ones who will only be benefited by it. So those are my honest opinion. But to answer your question, Tim, yes, I do feel that once Ethereum trading kicks in, the price of Ethereum will definitely bump up. And along with that, what I'd really recommend you to do is definitely keep a very strong eye on meme coin as well as NFTs. Meme coins will definitely pump up to the moon. Definitely more than Ethereum as well, in my opinion. These are things you need to be factoring in as well. Now, wouldn't be surprised if Pepe coin or Dog with that or any other new meme coin definitely pumps up to the moon. Those are my honest opinion, but definitely a really interesting question. Now, we will have to wait till the end of summer. I do not know what the exact date is, so what I'd really recommend you to do is, Tim, and even to our listeners, follow Eric Balcones and also follow Bloomberg in general. They will definitely constantly provide updates regarding an Ethereum spot ETF trading, so definitely an interesting question. And that's about all, guys. I'm the Ask Me Anything season blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And also, guys, please feel free to go and check out my website. That is www.blockchaindxb.com. It is loaded with useful information in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, artificial intelligence, metaverse, DeFi. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays we have Crypto with Coffee podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well. News that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. This is followed by 2 news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East, from cryptocurrency, blockchain, and now even artificial intelligence world. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.